Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And man, is this class a lot of fun. I was hesitant towards it initially, thinking, oh, it's going to be a little bit too easy. It's a demon hunter. It's only got a couple of buttons, but with the few buttons that you do have, there is a lot of things that you can get done, which makes it a lot of fun to try and min-max where you want to put your crowd controls, trying to anticipate your enemy's attacks to activate your defensives, trying to immune crowd controls with your metamorphosis. And I gotta say, with the set bonuses and the legendaries available to Demon Hunter, it is so much fun proccing your chaos blades from your blade dance, getting a really short cooldown on your metamorphosis makes it a really powerful class at the moment. You're going to feel like you have a lot of control in the game. You're going to be doing a ton of damage. I really liked its compatibility. It felt like I could play with almost anything in LFG. I was like, oh, hey, a rep paladin signed up. I mean, I'm going to try it, and it ends up working. So I really felt flexible on this specialization, and I'm thinking I'm going to really enjoy my climb on it. And if you want to follow these types of stories with the classes in World of Warcraft, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I am going to be running through every single specialization, and I'm going to do my best to not miss a single one for you guys. But in today's video and some of my most recent content, we're going to be covering the Havoc Demon Hunter, and in PvP specifically, I decided to go with the Night Fae Covenant because the hunt is my favorite ability. I love powering up my Fel Rush with my Immolation Aura, then just dumping out a massive Fel Rush damage, trying to proc my Chaos Blades. You always want to be using Blade Dance on cooldown. Then you can go for the Hunt, which is going to make your next Fel Rush hit really hard. So you can go Emo, Aura, Fel Rush, Hunt, and it's going to do another Fel Rush. And you can kind of just like crack your opponent down during this time, though. Oh, this is my first day of Demon Hunter. You're going to want to make sure that you crowd control the healer while you're doing that burst damage. Now we've stunned the Paladin, so it's time to stun the DPS. That's what I mean. Just paying attention to the battlefield, trying to take control of all of the enemies. We can chain this Hammer of Justice into an Imprison. This is going to net us the unending resolve from the Warlock. We're still mashing that Blade Dance on cooldown as much as possible to try and proc our Chaos Blades, which we haven't unfortunately procced at this time, but when you do, it's really sick. I can see the Abominations limb out from the Death Knight, so I'm going to drop my Darkness at this time. Another great part of this class is that you have a lot of cooldowns to match up with your opponent's cooldowns to make these important trades, to be able to stay alive in these important situations. But even still with the Darkness, we're taking a lot of damage, but we can fall back on the safety net of our Nether Walk. So we've got like this mini wall cooldown, we got an ice block, we got like a team-wide ice block or shield wall. So much control and utility in that sense to assist with your team while you're just trying to proc your damage. And here finally our Blade Dance has procced a Chaos Blades, which is going to make our Chaos Strike do so much damage. We can remove Blessing and Protections with our Dispels and our Purges on our classes toolkit as well, which is really awesome. We've got high mobility, another plus of running the Night Fae Covenant. I've got the Soul Shape, so I can try and blink towards the Warlock to try and catch up. Love using the Vengeful Retreat backflip as well to reconnect. So here I juke the Warlock into thinking I'm going one way, and then I backflip the other direction. He tries to port away, but he ends up porting right on top of me and allows me to reconnect. So really acrobatic class, and I really loved fishing for the Chaos Blades procs with my Blade Dance, trying to min-max, like how many targets am I hitting with it? Am I hitting it on cooldown to be able to maximize it? Trying to be in a good position to be able to connect my I-beams so I can get the damage out and try to avoid being interrupted, using our Fel Rush to generate some rage here so that we can keep attacking. Blade Dance, you've got a charged up Fel Rush. We're going to be looking to connect this as soon as possible, but I'm saving it just in case the Warlock tries to move. We're getting low on health, so it's time to activate our Blur. We can use our Imprison onto the Holy Paladin. We can go after the Warlock who's been isolated now, stun the DPS while the Paladin is CC'd, and then we can Imprison and stun him on his big heal and then try and move to purge that with our ranged purge. Just really kind of cool min-maxing things that you can do on the Demon Hunter that you can't do on other melee DPS with how much control and mobility you have with the class, which makes it a lot of fun. And these procced Chaos Blades really made me feel like I was playing Mop Moonkin in a sense, where you could get like these proc Star Surges and hit a target. So I really loved that mechanically about it, and the fact that you can get such a short cooldown on your Metamorphosis. Here we're using our mobility to run away from our enemy attackers, our healers and crowd crowd control. So we're going to use our Fel Rush and try and retreat away from the Warlock and get away from the Death Knight. We can use I-Beam to get into Metamorphosis to get some extra leech so we can try and heal ourselves up while the healer's crowd controlled. We can now go for the Hunt to get extra healing from the Hunt dot as well. We can use that not only defensively but offensively, comboing that with the massive Fel Rush that it's going to give us that crushes the Warlock down to half health, gets bubble from the Paladin. We get coiled here, but our Shaman is now no longer crowd controlled, so they're going to be able to pick us up, so we can just continue to be aggressive. We've got stuns here. I end up using the Hammer Justice on the DPS, not usually the best move, but I'm going to just notice that, use my stun on the Death Knight here to try and stop some damage, try and stabilize, because we got so many cooldowns from them. I'd rather just focus on staying alive until my Metamorphosis, which is coming up basically right now. We're going to use our Emo Aura to activate the next Fel Rush to be massive, just cleave that onto multiple targets, try and get as much damage out as possible. Metamorphosis, I-Beam gets reset, our Blade Dance gets reset, we get a full Hex onto the Paladin, so now we can move in, and we got a procced Chaos Blades. Everything's perfect. Paladin gets CC'd, I proc a Chaos Blades during my Metamorphosis, and just continuously shred down the Warlock during this time. Unfortunately, we've actually ran out of mobility. Doesn't happen very often. Trying to get enraged to Fell Blade, but the Death Knight is pulling me away. I use Imprison here on the Death Knight because it diminishing returns with Hex, so I didn't want to use that on the Paladin. It ends up getting the Death Knight's Trinket to try and stop them from peeling me and pressuring me away because I was getting such good uptime. And you can see what happens when you start proccing your Chaos Blades. Like last time I was cutting them down, I had to proc Chaos Blades. This time I'm cutting them down, I've got another proc Chaos Blades. Enemies are stacking up, big punish, Chaos Nova onto the whole team. It's this type of situational awareness that you are going to be rewarded heavily for when playing the Demon Hunter. We chain it into another stun, reconnect with Fel Rush, and just absolutely flatten him. So this specialization is super fun at the moment. I would definitely recommend it to anybody that hasn't yet picked it up or given it a try, or you maybe worried about it being a bit boring, because it really ended up being a ton of fun for me. And I'm curious to try some other covenants as well. I know Necrolord is going to be the standard one, so one I would recommend to you. But Night Fae with the Hunt, with the combo, with the Fel Rush, and getting these big hits of damage and just flying through the air felt super fun. It's always been the most fun build in my mind. I'm really hoping to see the Hunt continue forward into the Dragonflight talents for Demon Hunter just for this reason. But it's up there now. I'm really enjoying my time with it, and I love the compatibility of it. So if you're looking for a fun spec that's going to reward you for high awareness and kind of like high actions per minute, just min-maxing your Blade Dance uptimes and trying to maximize the effectiveness of your Emo Aura Fel Rushes when you've got CC onto the Paladin, then this is going to be the spec that delivers that to you, but while also kind of being wrapped up in the simplicity of its damage rotation being, one or two buttons. So you've got that base level floor to get in, you can just smash out some big damage, while also looking forward to the end game, which is predicting enemy attacks, preemptively activating defensives, chaining crowd control, and coordinating that with your teammates. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You can kind of just jump in right away and get your feet wet really easy, but still have a little bit of room to advance and finesse your way through and advance as a player, which is what I was surprised about with it, because I didn't expect that initially, but it definitely delivered. It's been a great time so far. I went actually out and farmed the Warglaive Transmog. It makes Demon Hunter even much better to play once you've got that. But yeah, this is basically going to be my video, just talking to you about the Demon Hunter and how awesome it is, and running you through some of the strategies and tactics that you can employ to kind of have some success with it. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it with a thumbs up and comment down below, and I will catch you in the next video.